Okay, okay, okay. We will begin in just a moment. We better start this here as well. I wonder if it's going to crash again. Good. We are good. Let me just get everything prepared. I think, well, we got one more minute before we start. I don't want to have an incredibly long podcast for sure. Show, whatever you want to call it. This is such a really cool. This is a really cool game, honestly. This Dreams. I just kind of wish the interface was a little bit more organized. Like I get it. I think they make it look crazy looking like this, so you can kind of get lost of where you are and just settle for what you see. I don't know. Explore nominations. So what's this all about? Dreamfest 2020, 2022. Hmm. That was pretty cool. They were supposed to allow multiplayer um, for this, and they haven't done so yet. I wonder why. Probably trying to create servers because people haven't played this game. They, essentially don't want to play games with it. I get it because people built this shit, and it doesn't have the quality control that they normally do. Sorry if you're in the Twitter space. I'm actually just playing Dreams. That's what I normally do as I'm playing. Plus, I have a YouTube channel which is called what is it, Illicit Therapy. So that's what we're doing here. I think we can actually begin. I'm not trying to drag this out. I think we can actually begin. Let me just make sure everything is on it up and up here. All right, cool. Let me get myself acclimated here. Actually, you know what? I better multitask. That's something that I really need to learn how to do. Is multitask. I am crappy at it. All right. So as you can tell with the show, I said I am disappointed in gamers nowadays, and to an extent, like developers for feeding into this as well. But mostly gamers, because we're supposed to be smarter than that. We're not the average fans of things. We typically are more informed in our media than the average, than the other mediums. And for some reason, we've become stupid, stupider and stupider. Like with each passing generation, we allow pure nonsense. It's the funniest thing ever, which is kind of annoying to me. But really, what triggered me this weekend, and this is when I think I had another idea for this, but really, really triggered me is, and I really shouldn't be allowing this to trigger me, right? But it did anyway. Um, PC master race shit really, really, really bothers me. Um, it bothers me because these are the people they pose them, they pretend like they're gamers, and you could always tell, who's actually a PC master race person and who really just plays games on the PC. I can't get mad at somebody for liking a particular platform, but the platform is just a means for you to enjoy games. That's, I mean, that's what I thought. I thought that was the case, and that's not what's happening nowadays. What's happening nowadays are, you know, people want to have the superior hardware only. They don't even care about the games. That's the weird thing. Well, I fucked that up. That's the weird thing. Sometimes it doesn't even matter like what exactly are they playing. It's just it doesn't look better. You know what I mean? And I just kind of like miss the days where gamers would actually care about the content, the content that's within games. I miss that. If the game was good and stuff like that. And I got to give Nintendo their props, but it'll stop there because ultimately, I played this before. I remember this. I don't like it. I will say this, right? Nintendo players, and it's probably because they have no choice because they don't want to talk about the poor hardware that Nintendo has provided to them. So they just kind of deal with it. Deal with having crap hardware, and developers, including Nintendo, have to put up or has to make do with what's there. That's the weird thing about what I'm seeing here. But like now, everything has dissolved in politics. It's political, especially with this Harry Potter thing, or it's tribalism. One of the two, political or tribalism, is the two that you kind of like you kind of settle with at this point in time. It's the weirdest thing. It's weird to me to be a gamer and most of what you talk about is your platform. But let's talk about Nintendo, okay? So let's go with Nintendo, right? Because Nintendo does this. Nintendo fanboys, rather, you can like what you like, right? And most of the time they say to themselves, like, what we always like Nintendo's games are really, really good. They're always good. There's nothing to worry about. It's always great. It's great. You know, I don't know why people are so upset with, with why, we don't need graphics, right? That's what they say, right? You don't need graphics is what they say. You just need good gameplay. Here's the problem with Nintendo fans, right? They'll say this, and that is true, right? That is very, very true. That you do not need like great graphics to have a good game. I mean, look at this game. It's on Dream. Someone made this. It's not one of the famous developers. Just somebody made it, and I mean, it's oh shit, it's solid enough. You know what I mean? In terms of a game. All right, cool, whatever, right? Nobody's really upset with that, but they don't want to call out Nintendo and the problems that Nintendo poses, which is the craziest thing to me. Like, there's gameplay, you know, and then there's like technology or games being hampered because the hardware just is trash, you know. For instance, I feel like Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or whatever the fuck the game is. Oh, what the hell? I can't jump on there. Is there a double jump? Oh, there's two. Let me see. I don't have a jump. That's weird. What's this? All right, what the fuck's wrong with him, bitch? All right. Like I don't know. It's just weird to me that you can allow for nonsense. See, fucking bitch. I will say this, right, and this is because of me. I'm not reading what I'm supposed to be reading. So let me see here. Hold on. There's supposed to be a control thing, and they don't give you nothing. What is he doing? I don't understand why he's vibrating like that. Hello? Oh, there's a double jump. Okay, I'm tripping. All right, cool, 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 cool. Jump, jump. All right, jump, jump. All right, jump, jump. All right, cool. Jump, jump. All right, jump, jump. Oh shit, I'm doing it. Okay, okay, okay. But yeah, like, okay, so just you gotta bear with me because multitasking is not my strongest suit. But I will say this, right? Oh, this kind of repels them. That's interesting. Um, I will say this, right? People who like Nintendo, right? The hardcore Nintendo fans. The problem with them, ooh, this is making me dizzy as fuck. The people who don't like, I mean, the people who love Nintendo, right? They absolutely love Nintendo. Um, it's like you can't criticize Nintendo at all. You have to just accept what they give you. And on top of that, they love Nintendo shit all together. Like they can't do a motherfucking thing wrong. And I fell. So that's my problem. There's no criticism because the tribalism that goes on here, you know, and I get it. I get it. You know, there's a reputation that Nintendo has, and people want to follow suit with the reputation about having like all these great games. But lo and behold, man, like Nintendo wasn't hot for a while when it came to, you know, I mean, they just kind of started with the, you know, because really, I think GameCube era, right? If you were around for the GameCube era, they made Smash Brothers. That was a hit. Mario Sunshine. A lot of people kind of didn't like that, which was crazy to me. But you know, it didn't have the polish that they used to have. That was the thing. You know. Oh shit! Get the fuck. Why? Anyway, they didn't have the polish that um they used to have back in the day. You know, Nintendo. And people just continuously said, you know, they just kept that. They just kept, you know, that stereotype that Nintendo can't miss. You know what I mean? And they miss many times. And it goes with the media too. The media seems to, you know, apparently, you bitch. The media thinks that you know everything that comes out of Nintendo is great, and you know, and there's a lot of scrutiny when it comes to other companies. You know, and this kind of tribalism and this type of fanboyism and this people not thinking for themselves, that's a fucking problem to me. I guess you just fall. Oh, you're supposed to fall. That's a problem to me. And like I said before, I guess I can, you know, because one of the reasons why I'm having a problem, give that thumbs up. I'm having a problem with a lot of Nintendo shit, right? I'm sorry. Here's the reason why this show's created, right? I'll just kind of put it out there. It seems like gamers can't game, and you know they don't they don't game anymore. They care about specs, they care about resolution, and they care about if their favorite company has made it, and they care about the genre, and they never really question the quality of the games themselves. That's where my issue is. You know what I'm saying? You know, just on my social medias, consistently, I see these so-called PC master race uh, go on you know on the social media talking about, oh, I have the best, I have the best hardware. Oh, this is the best place to play, and they're playing like ports of things that they already completed. Is to me, that's the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen. It's weird to me to be a gamer and talk about your hardware more so than the games that you like. And that's why I kind of got into like the whole thing with Nintendo. I will give that to those fans. They do talk about their games, regardless of if they talk about their games because they don't have the hardware to talk about anything else. but they do talk about, gameplay. Now, where they fuck up at, right, is they think that Nintendo shit don't stink. You know what I mean? And same thing with people that like Eastern games. They feel like their shit don't stink either, and they're so clouded with their bias. That it's the craziest thing to me. It really is. They're so clouded with their bias. Even if something comes along that is good, they say screw it. That's their problem. But going back to the PC master race people, which irritates the hell out of me, you go on to your respective, that looks weird, your respective social media, right? And you start talking about specs. You start talking about how I can't finish playing the game. You start complaining about all I see on social media is fanboyism. I can't deal with it no more. That's all I see is fanboyism. And then and I don't know. It's something to me that lets me know that they really don't enjoy their games. They're really trying to justify their purchase. You know what I mean? And yeah, this is mostly talking about PC gamers or people that are posing as PC gamers, but really they just want to be. They just honestly want to be like in some sort of in crowd. To me, that's what it looks like. I want to flaunt that I have the best hardware, but don't really enjoy their games. You know what I'm saying? So they spend a whole summer, they spend a whole season, they spend a whole Sunday tinkering with fucking specs that you could barely fucking, perceive in general. Oh, I see a difference. Yeah, because you're 12 inches away from the fucking monitor. That's why you see a difference. You know what I mean? You see a difference because it's you know the difference is really because the monitor is much smaller. So yes, it looks clearer. You know what I mean? You're gonna be able to see like the little details with shadows. I'm using my TV. I'm using my LG. This it's like people are spending huge amounts of money for clout. To me, that's the thing. To me, that's the weird shit. You know what I mean? I feel like people are not really enjoying their games. They just want to go on social media to just say, I have a better piece of hardware. Even if it's PlayStation fans, it's the oh shit. It's the same thing with PlayStation dudes. It ain't like they that it's like you spend so much time, you know, talk about how PlayStation is better than any other hardware because of their developers are really proficient at software and all this other weird shit. But then I don't really see you playing that many games. And the funny thing is, when I do see you playing fucking games, right? When I do see you playing games, guess what you do? Like, you play the same shit that's wrapped into Sony's original, like, it's wrapped into Sony's, like, packaging of games. Like, let's be honest here, right? If you like Ghost of Tsushima, then you really should like a Ubisoft game. Not saying that it's a Ubisoft game, but they had the same, kind of the same sentimentality, right? The same thing with Horizon, you know what I'm saying? But these people, these fanboys, right? They would rather denounce other people and what they like just to say that I have a better one because Metacritic told me to. That's why I was saying last week, I'm actually pretty proud of everybody for playing like Forspoken and allowing themselves to ignore social media. But I think that even that's a play of, I'm better than most people because I don't listen to the norms, So that's what I kind of feel like. I feel like that's not even genuine. That's more along the lines of saying that you're better than everybody else because I didn't listen to Metacritic. But then on top of it, guess what you did? You went right online, right? And looked at the reviews for the PlayStation VR, right? That's what you did. You went online and you went on there to see what it was rated. And then you went to see what the games were rated. And then you saw that Horizon Call of the Mountain wasn't like a fucking, you know what I mean? It wasn't Game of the Year material. You're like, oh, well, I don't think I'm going to pick up that game. I get it. I like it. I'm going to pick up VR because they said it was a 9.0. Like, I can't deal with it no more, man. Like, when are we going to like games? That's my question. I would love to know, when are we going to to like games and not be fucking fanboys. You know what I mean? That's what I want to feel. I want to feel like, when are we going to actually like playing games? You know, even when it comes to this, right? When it comes to um, when it comes to these spaces, right? Twitter spaces, podcasts, and shit like that, man. This is nothing more than to say that, hey, I actually, and you're trying to justify your purchase. That's all that this is. And I feel like I have a problem with that, man. And maybe this is me sitting on my soapbox, right? And pretending to be, I guess one can say that about myself too, that I'm pretending to be on higher ground by calling this out, right? I get it. I totally understand. It looks that way for sure. I can't get mad at you and say that, it doesn't look that way. But like, I mean, one thing you'll see me on my social media, right, is you'll see me actually playing games. That's what you'll see me do. You'll see me playing games, and you'll see me not just playing PlayStation games for sure. You'll see me actually playing different types of games. A lot of people get this misconstrued that just because I like Horizon or I have a PlayStation and that this is my only thing that I play. I do not just play this. I play a lot of other things besides this, besides PlayStation. There's a lot of other games that I actually play. And I don't look at reviews and hope that reviews are going to, justify my purchase. That's one thing you'll never see me. Damn, I can't even see what I'm doing, camera. You'll never see me, capping for fucking Metacritic. I don't think anybody. That's one thing that you will see, right? That I'm never going to cap for social media. I mean, I'm never going to cap for Metacritic. You definitely won't see me do that, like, at all. At all. So he has height damage? Come on, bro. Like, I can't fucking see. I'm giving you a thumbs down for this fuckery. Playing this Dreams game. And now I can't even see my character. Like, every time I fall, this camera is fucked. And I swear Media Molecule better not, like, they better not have nominated this game in any capacity, man, because this camera is buck wild, man. Anyway, it's just, I don't know. That's me really kind of talking on my soapbox regarding where we come from, as gamers. Like, we literally don't game anymore. I can't say we, actually, because that ain't how I roll. I don't roll like that shit. I roll as a gamer, and whatever plays nice or whatever, I'm going to play. I've been playing Dying Light or whatever. I've been playing that game. I'm done with this game. Absolutely not. And then how many people gave this shit a like? Fuck that shit. It got 2,000 likes. Fuck you. Bowls Island. Let's see what this is all about. Hopefully they're not gonna have a stupid ass cutscene as soon as I fucking start this game. That last 5 minutes, you're not a real developer. Calm down. Calm down. That sounds terrible. I'm sorry, people that's trying to be a developer. I heard somebody actually they got recruited for making games on PlayStation. Not PlayStation. What do you call it? Look, the fucking pretentiousness with the cutscenes. I don't care, yo. This is why your games don't be ranking crazy, yo. I don't care about Bo. Who the fuck is Bo? It's always a fucking British person, yo, with these crazy ass cutscenes. Bro, stop it. I should be able to skip this shit. But thank you. Anyway, so and I think I've mentioned this before when I was talking about, and then you did all this cutscene. Your camera still is ass, yo. Don't ever make me watch a cutscene again. But So, also political shit too is annoying. You know what I mean? People care. People are so like hell bent on a game being based off of their ideology, right? That they will sit there and play a game because it fits their narrative. You know, they'll sit there and they'll be like, "Oh, well, this character is black, so I'm gonna this is right in my alley." Shit like that. That's because Lord knows that's fucking annoying. Or this person is my this my sexual preference. Cool. I don't know, man. People like it's weirdo shit to me that I'm not I'm not used to this shit, yo. I ain't gonna lie to you. All right, he has a pen. Oh, that's not even a fucking pen. That's a fucking flute. Anyway, so yeah, that's another thing too. So like that's my reasoning for being I mean, I'm sorry for it not like that's another thing too. There's people that are so into drama. Like they'll go into one of these fucking shows or spaces on Twitter expecting drama, and if it doesn't scratch their itch in terms of drama, they're like, oh fuck it, you know what I mean? I thought that this is going to be hype, like the type of shit that people are into now. Like as a 38-year-old, at this a lot of this shit is on some. Oh, he can swim. That's cool. A lot of this shit is on some weirdo shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's weird to me to like really clamor over some fucking drama all the time. I guess people would look at this as being, for me being like, oh, okay, I'm looking for drama. I'm really not. I'm really not. If anything, like it frustrates me. It frustrates me because people are not really gaming. They would rather, right, a game to be on a Metacritic, right, and then that's what they like. It has to be on it's Metacritic. The game is an 8 or 9 out of 10. That's the only way you buy the game. Really? These people. I mean, unless it's something catastrophic. You know what I mean? And it's funny too because the guy, what's his name, ACG. I don't know what happened to him lately, but I mean, he's kind of gotten weird over time. Where like I feel like low key he's been paid off like any other reviewer. You know what I mean? He says that he buys his own game, that's fine, but there's also sponsors and other things that you could do to compromise your, you know what I mean, your integrity. Oh shit! What the fuck? You motherfucker! You stung me. This is low key. This is low key cool though. I ain't gonna lie. This is a nice little cool little game. That's pretty cool, and it looks nice. Cool little engine, but yeah, like he goes ahead and he says, Horizon Call of the Mountain is not really a good Horizon game, and it's not really a good like VR game. And of course, your mileage may vary when it comes to games like this, right? Um, so people are kind of like looking at the shit, and they're like, I mean,
Some
like,
PPL are obsessed with meta scores. It's ridiculous to base whether you buy a game or not on the meta score.
yeah, okay, what's going on? You're absolutely right. It's weird to me when people are, they're so stuck on the Metacritic. But the reason why I mention this is that it has nothing to, for me, it has nothing to do with um him, ACG. It's more along the lines of people came at him. Let me see, jump and press square. Okay. By the way, if anybody is looking at this on YouTube, this is dreams. This is not like a game that you can pick up on the PlayStation Store, which I feel like Sony needs to start putting these games on the PlayStation Store. Because I feel like some of these games are kind of worth it, low key, high key, low key. Um, are we good here? Like, okay, they won't allow fucking bitch. And I know I'm like not focused on this shit, so maybe I'm missing something. But this is just for background shit, though. Honestly,
I was wondering what you were playing, lol.
no, this is this is dreams. It's pretty well made for somebody that probably made by like one or two people. It's pretty nice. Some pretentious fucking British game. You know what I mean? Where they always have that fucking voice. I mate, help me find the pin, mate. I'm like, here we go. But yeah, there's so the people came at this guy, this ACG dude. Oh damn, there's a lot of people in this bitch. People came at ACG, right? They came at him hardcore, and that's the funny thing. They were like, well, you said Horizon. What do you mean? You're a fanboy. You're a fanboy of Xbox, right? And under normal circumstances, I mean, they may have. This is probably something true. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is probably something that. I mean, I'm not saying he's a fan of it, but maybe he's been paid off or whatever, right? The point is that people say that the Metacritic doesn't matter until it matters, and this happens a lot with PlayStation fanboys. That's that. That's the problem. That's where it is. I'm gonna see if 2099 is in there. Is he here? Is he a speaker? No, he's a listener. I guess he's gonna be listening today. Yo, 2099, you jumping in? I can see people over. But yeah, my whole premise to this, if you guys are watching, right, the whole premise to all of this, right, this whole chat that we're having now is how disappointed I am in gamers for a myriad of reasons. I probably should have narrowed this down. But one thing I really cannot stand, right, is the very fact that people are not gaming anymore. People are like literally you're looking for specs or ratings. That's the two things that you guys are looking at. You can never validate something by its own merits. Is it good or is it not? That's the problem. Is it good or is it bad? No, what really matters is how many pixels is it fucking pushing? So I can play this game for 2 fucking minutes, post a fucking video clip on social media, or maybe just have one session on social media and say that my rig is better than all the consoles combined and shit like that, and then never play it again. I can't understand how you have a console, right? And you either platinum the console platinum the game, or you 100% the game, right? And then you buy the variant on a PC just to say that I have the better copy and then not really play it. That's one problem. It's weird to me when I see that shit. And then one person can hide behind the guys and sit there and say behind the scenes.
Judging leaked gameplay of older builds.
That's another thing. There's people that come out there and they'll see something. Well, that's the thing, Kay. People do that shit when it suits them. You know what I'm saying? I see this with a lot of PlayStation fanboys, right? It's really the PlayStation fanboys that will do it because they are insecure about, for some reason, like, damn, you got the Metacritic, damn, you got the graphics, damn, you got the console, like it's cheap, and you got, like, what else do you fucking want? Like total domination, shit. Like, you got the games that's on a console, and it suits your needs. You know what I'm saying? Because you wanted the games to be great on the Metacritic. So it blows me away that it's not enough that you guys have a good Metacritic score. It's not enough. It needs to be a good Metacritic score, and it needs to sell 15 to 20 million, and everybody needs to like it, and you have to shit on everything else on top of it. That's the PlayStation fanboys. And on top of that, you just want everything your fucking way. You know, if the game doesn't get a good Metacritic, you screw that game. I'm going to treat it like the redhead stepchild that it is, and I'm going to keep it moving. You know what I mean? And then shit on everything else to make me feel better about my purchase. That's PlayStation fanboys. PC fucking people will spend. You want online. I don't give a fuck if you have the money or not. You went online to buy a $1,700 graphics card. Most of the people are buying these graphics cards. They get clout for social media points. Was it that important that you had to go out there and you had to buy clout just to say that I have the better piece and so everybody can follow you and say so you can have a following about PC gaming? Was it really that worth it? Are you really playing games like that? Like, why don't you post gameplay and not mention your rig? You ever think about doing that? How about you say this game is fun instead of my rig is the best? What about that? Yeah, y'all ever think about that? And then you have the Nintendo fanboys, right? Where the Nintendo fanboys will sit there and lap up every piece of vomit that Nintendo will give to them, whether it's good or bad, based off of some old fucking rhetoric about how Nintendo don't miss. Nintendo's missed a long time ago. You know what I mean? You would rather barely play Animal Crossing and sit there and say you don't even like some of the Nintendo fans don't even they bought Animal Crossing, played around with it a little bit, but really they like Zelda or whatever the case is, or whatever old school game that they will play and sit there and say that that's the best game I've ever played. But then it kind of shows that you're not really a game fan, right? Because a lot of the stuff that Nintendo was doing now,
PPL are addicted to cloud and garnering attention.
people don't understand this, right? A lot of Nintendo fans, because they're so stuck with Nintendo, they don't understand that a lot of their gameplay mechanics have already been done before, right? Nintendo put a spin on the gameplay mechanics, but you wouldn't know that because you don't play anything unless it's Nintendo's name on there. For instance, Breath of the Wild, right, have a lot of survival tech, have a lot of survival gameplay components that was in games like 7 Days to Die, which was released years before that game was announced, right? But you wouldn't know that really because you've been running around saying that Nintendo games are the best games that you can ever play, and maybe you're looking at the Metacritic, or maybe you don't care. You just are following the old 1990s rhetoric that Nintendo don't miss. Maybe that's what you're doing. I don't know. Those three things is the reason why it annoys the hell out of me when it comes to gameplay. I mean, when it comes to gamers, I don't really see people talking about games specifically. That's my problem. I don't see that shit at all, and that's what bothers me. That bothers me. Yo, 20.
What's up, Gary?
What's going on, man? What's going on?
Ain't nothing, chilling.
You heard what I said about all three fanboys, right? What you guys say about that, man?
First thing I want to say is when I told everybody last year that ACG was a paid drone, that I told him he was a paid drone, that he sent all of his stands to my page to attack me and all that. It was cool. Ain't nobody hold me down or nothing. But now, since he trashed Verizon or didn't give it the score that niggas would like, now everybody is understanding what I've been saying all along. But at the end of the day, people ain't really gaming. They just looking for their feelings to be validated. Basically, is what the situation is. Like, if a game don't get the perfect score, then the Sony niggas is mad. You know what I'm saying? Every game gotta be a 95. It gotta do 20 million, or it's a failure. Which I don't understand. Like, just play the game, dog. Like, at the end of the day, ain't none of us about to get a percentage. You know what I'm saying? We ain't making no money off the game, so it really shouldn't even matter what the game sells. As long as it sells good enough to get a sequel, that's fine. But every game don't gotta break records. But I mean, that's what you see on Twitter daily with these console war troll accounts.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm kind of interested. You're calling him a paid drone, right? I kind of want to get into that, right? You're calling him a paid drone. I always thought he was a PC dude. You know what I'm saying? And maybe he has like low key, like, you know what I mean. He was a fan of Nintendo before, but one thing for sure, I don't think that he's. I could have put it. There's two things going on with that whole debacle, right? I thought Metacritic didn't matter, right? Because you guys bought Forspoken and said that Forspoken don't listen to the Metacritic, right? But then the same fanboys, because they want to justify their piece of hardware that is made by their favorite company, right? Because someone said that Horizon wasn't a good game, right? And you don't even fucking like Horizon. You know, that's the funny thing. Like a lot of PlayStation fans don't like Horizon because guess what? They can't clip this shit and have a cut scene to say that, oh my gosh, it made me cry. Oh, this was badass. Like a lot of the times you gotta make it look badass. They give you the tools to make it look badass, but you got to do it. You got to slide. You got to jump in slow motion. There is no fucking QTEs with this shit. You got to do all of that shit. And since you can't do it, they're not original enough to create something like that. And on top of it, it also have like an emotional piece, like a Naughty Dog game where, you know, you could put it out there and it looks like their favorite movie transformed to a video game. So nobody really likes the fucking game like that. And on top of it, it didn't get a Metacritic that they wanted. So they can't really say that. The same thing kind of happened with Red Dead, right? Red Dead was a game, right? Where a lot of people capped for that game but never finished it, yo. They just played 15 to 20 hours of that long ass game and was like, yo, I can acknowledge that this is one of the best games ever made, but I certainly didn't finish it. Like, what? What? You know, like Kay was saying, people are just fucking addicted to clout and you know, addicted to, I guess it's just clout, really. Clout and just feeling, you know, clout and just feeling important. Like they want somebody to stroke their egos. Like I couldn't believe, and maybe, you know, like I will always stand behind this. I got into like a, you know, kind of like a conversation, a pretty heated conversation. What I figured was to me deplorable like actions in the gaming space. You know, one thing that's weird to me is to sit there and like I'll say this. I don't know if Jemiah is in here. I will say this, right? Jemiah, he's known to be a PC guy, right? Like he likes his PC shit, right? But he never, ever let that stops him. Like he has a preference. We all know about the preference if you know Jemiah, right? He likes PC. That's it, right? But he's still a gamer. He'll play whatever fucking game that he likes. He don't give a fuck about those reviews, and he's very consistent with that shit. Very, very consistent. The thing that isn't consistent is the fucking ponies or PlayStation fanboys. That ain't consistent at all. These motherfuckers are absolutely like hypocrites. Even Nintendo fans are not as hypocritical as PlayStation fans. The type of shit that like I don't understand. I'll keep saying this. I don't understand
Some
what.
PPL are obsessed with Metascores.
Oh,
It's ridiculous to base whether you buy a game or not on the Metascore. I was wondering what you were playing, lol.
oh, this shit just popped up
And
out of nowhere.
PPL judging leaked gameplay of older builds.
My
PPL
bad.
are
The
addicted to cloud
YouTube
and
acting
garnering
really
attention.
weird.
PPL like to talk more about the politics of games rather than games themselves.
All right, she stopped talking. Okay, cool. But yeah, like a whole bunch of hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? The same thing. Like I'll say this shit as well, and it goes. It's so crazy because there's a lot of you know different types of fanboys that kind of muddies the waters. You know, there's people that only like Japanese games, right? So anytime a Japanese game comes out, right, it's automatically better than any fucking Western game ever made. You know what I mean? I see people capping about Metroid, which wasn't made by Nintendo, by the way. It was made by an American developer, but they don't know this. They see Nintendo on that shit, and they're like, oh, Nintendo helped them somehow, but Nintendo didn't touch the game. They just gave them the rights and understood that they know how to make a good game. Like even Nintendo will give the game rights to someone else to develop a game, but that doesn't matter to those people. They don't care about that. What they do care about is if it got a high rating and if it came from their favorite brand. And they want to go online and find people that are like-minded, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I see people capping for Metroid. Bitch, that game came out like fucking 20 years ago. Like, you can't put that in your top game of the year for 2023. The game already came out and had its time to be out there in 2023, yo. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in 2001 or two or three or whatever year it came out, it's like I don't know, weird fucking people. Yo, 20, you still in there? I wonder if he's in there. He may have dropped out.
Who, me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
So I guess my question is like like I'm getting better and better and better at not like like going crazy on staying in these fucking in these rooms and shit like that, But my question here is, what do you think? Who's the worst type of gamer that you've experienced so far? You know what I mean? Is it the PlayStation fans or PC people or or Nintendo people or just fanboys of a specific genre?
I have to say it's a tie between the Souls fans and I would probably say Xbox fans. I would say Nintendo, but Nintendo fans they don't really like be raging on the internet too much. They don't have too many accounts that are completely dedicated to trolling other systems, like the way that Xbox do. The Xbox niggas have a whole account, whole catfish accounts and everything, just dedicated to trolling everybody. Most of the PlayStation accounts is dudes with their real face. You know what I'm saying? Dudes with their real face and their real name and stuff that just are hardcore dedicated to liking PlayStation. So I would probably say the Xbox because they go overboard with it, like to the point where they be tagging Aaron Greenberg and it's really funny with them because they go overboard like they really work for the company. Like you look at somebody like Cole Eastwood or Paris, you look at people like that and you would really think that they work for Xbox, but in reality they are just free promo guys that Xbox don't give a fuck about. So I would probably say those are the worst.
I mean, they kind of do work for them because they do. Microsoft will
Game
help them
Pass
with their channel.
fanboys are the worst face with hand over mouth lol JKJK.
So I hear somebody. I'm sorry, I paused because somebody was talking. So someone said Game Pass fanboys. You know what I mean? Where I heard that
It's
shit.
all the same. They fall under the same umbrella.
I mean, at least they get some sort of kickback. You know what I mean? If it's not actual money, then it's really just it helps out. It helps with the channel for the
No,
actual.
what I will say. What I will say though, real quick, is that with the Xbox niggas, I will say that the people that are in charge of Xbox will interact more with them than the PlayStation community. The PlayStation hardcore console wars guys, they don't get interaction from barely anybody on PlayStation. Now, sometimes you'll have a art director or something like that, or a community manager, or something like comment on something, but you get people from the top of Xbox that'll be on Twitter, like Sarah or Aaron Greenberg, that actually speak back to these people. So, I mean, I guess he laughing. I'm telling the truth though. The PlayStation dudes be doing it for no reason. They just be doing it just for likes and clicks. I mean, so I guess Xbox guys do get something out of it at least.
No, I mean, like to me, Sony is very strategic in what they do, yo. The only time they're really like kind of interface with PlayStation fanboys is if you're part of the LGBT community or marginalized community. They love that shit, yo. And cosplayers, yo. I was peeping that shit the other day. I was looking at the Horizon 1 year anniversary, yo, and I'm like, they don't have anybody that's really talking about gameplay. They're like, oh, it warms my heart when I see people cosplaying. Like, how's your game, nigga? How does that work? You know what I'm saying? You talk about some fucking cosplay, yo. That's one of the reasons why you're in hot water and shit. You know what I mean? You care about what the game looks like. That's the perception. I love Horizon, but they care about what the game looks like and what the community is doing. You know what I'm saying? It's weirdo shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I will say that shit, yo. It's kind of weird. Um,
All right, come on, Finn.
and that's how I feel about that shit, yo. Look, I'm not. Look, the worst fanboys to me is these weird so-called PC people. You know what I mean? I would say that's second. I think the PlayStation is the worst fanboys that I've seen because they have some semblance of logic and they still do dumbass shit. You know what I mean? They know what they're doing and they still do it anyway. And to me, that's not ignorance. I can see ignorance. Like a lot of Xbox fanboys, they're ignorant, you know, to what they're really doing. And that's why a lot of the shit that they say don't make any sense. Nintendo, they don't know any better either because they just looking at the face of their game or nostalgia. You know, it's PlayStation people that made that shit toxic, and I get what happened back in PlayStation 3 days. You know what I'm saying? How toxic the shit was back in the day, but like that shit's a long time ago, and y'all still on that fucking shit, yo. Anybody, I'll say this: I am a hardcore Sony fan, like straight up. I'm not just saying this shit just to try to go against the grain, nigga. I'm so much of a hardcore Sony fanboy. I got a Sony phone, an Xperia phone, Sony headsets, Sony car speakers, a Sony a head unit. I really like Sony products. Like I'm about it. Someone had to give me a Samsung TV because I wasn't going to fuck around with it, and I still don't have an OLED TV. Into Sony, you know, there's a better OLED TV, which is the LG TV, than when it comes to gaming than Sony shit. But I won't buy it at all until Sony,
To be
you know,
fair,
actually gets
I
better.
have never seen a PS fanboy show off a gun in a video face with tears of joy.
They look PlayStation fanboys may not have showed a gun. Like I said, they're the ignorant people. But you're right. I mean, but I still stick by what I say. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of the gameplay that they have is whatever creeped up on the Metacritic. So yeah, them first, and then PC fucking the fake PC guys second. Like I know PC people that really they have the fucking steering wheel for you know a Assetto Corsa or one of those fucking things. They are about it. Or they do Flight Simulator and they have like the whole apparatus for Flight Simulator and shit like that. There's people that actually play that shit. That's the only thing that they play, or Dota and all those other fucking games. You don't hear them talking at all. It's these weird ass fucking quasi fanboys, right? That beg to have console games on a PC for some weird reason. And I'm not talking about just PlayStation games. Just I need to have these console games on PC so I can play the game for 5 minutes and pan around and see if it stutters. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is like the era of like the Digital Foundry, which I'm glad that they, on some real shit, I'm glad that they get the fucking flack that they've gotten. And I'm so glad about, you know, the Harry Potter game coming out. I am so glad about that shit. I am hyped. I am glad. I love every minute of it because you know what? People need to honest to God, they really need to start calling bullshit out. The same thing with the ACG dude. Like that motherfucker, like that dude, he's weird. You know what I mean? I saw what he was saying about Elden Ring and how he had like, you know, how he thought it was the best game ever, but he kept freezing and shit like that, and he completely overlooked all of that shit. And then I hear like some console people, right? Because the console game really wasn't having any issues. It was really the PC games and current generation games where you had to play the last generation model to really get some kind of semblance of stability. You know what I mean? But he was playing on the PC and having trouble, and he still gave the game what it's gotten. You know what I'm saying? And he was overly critical about everything the fuck else. So it's kind of like it's weird. I think that I don't really think that he's a fanboy of anything. I think that because he runs under the guise of, um, you know, I buy my own games and you know they give me a title and I give that away or whatever the case is. All right, so you're buying the game, but then you're using the game that they give you to give out to promote your channel. So it's the same shit, repackaged. Let's be completely honest here. It's the same shit repackaged. So it's like to me personally, I don't think he's a fanboy. I mean of anything in particular. Maybe he is a syndrome, you know, but it's the clout is what he wants or whatever the case is, or whoever's paying him whatever marketing, because he is getting a kickback, not in a direct way, but he's getting the kickback of he's getting the kickback of people rushing to his channel because he has the game first. You know what I mean? So that's automatically something that can help out his channel, which is how he gets paid. So when people say that I'm not getting paid like Digital Foundry, well, I mean, no, not directly. You know, you're definitely getting some sort of kickback for sure. You know what I mean? You can't sit there and say that because you know if that's the case, right? Don't accept anything from any of these publishers, right? At all. You buy your own game like when everybody buys it at that time on release date, and you give yourself a week, and then you post that shit a week later. Like that's one thing I gotta say about what's his name, ain't the Angry Gamer or whatever the fucking Angry Joe. He don't review games on spot like that. His shit comes out like it's whatever he wants because people like him. They enjoy for whatever reason. They like what he's doing, and that's what's going on with him. But on some.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Look, I want to say one thing about Angry Joe, and I'm gonna let you finish. Watch it. Then this is for everybody listening. Angry Joe is very entertaining. He's one of the most entertaining guys that I have ever seen, you know, in the gaming community. But when you watch his videos, understand that you are watching his videos to be entertained by his presence and not because of what he's saying about the game. Do not take him reviewing a game as gospel or as a means to play or not play a game, because his opinion on video games does not matter. He's just entertaining.
I'm glad you made that distinction. I mean, I personally don't like his ass. I don't find him entertaining, you know. But everybody finds whatever they find entertaining. That's okay, right? But you make a good distinction. Here's the thing: like people go to see Angry Joe, because he's entertaining. You know what I'm saying? They go to Digital Foundry because they got a game before everybody else. You know what I mean? But I'm glad what is happening with the Hogwarts situation, right? Because it shows, as successful as the game is, it really shows
About
that.
to eat, catch you later, face blowing a kiss.
All right. It goes to show you. Take it easy. It goes to show you how playing politics doesn't really get you anywhere in the long run. You know what I mean? They hurt their own pockets to try to, you know, play on the right side of history and shit like that. And they are complete hypocrites. And I'm glad people are calling them out on that shit, yo. So I got to give them props. Got to definitely give the people who called them out before. I'm giving them props on that shit. You know, so it sounds. I mean, not all of it's doom and gloom. I'll say that. Not all of it's doom and gloom, because eventually, you know, playing politics in games, not like, you know, LGBT or marginalized groups or, you know, liberals or whatever the case is. I mean, gaming politics, not those things. Playing politics is only going to get you so far. You know, eventually it's going to encroach on something that you like, and then that's when people are going to snap out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you talk about this game and this game is not even that bad. You know, that's when people are going to be like, oh snap, you know, blah 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 blah, and then that's when they're going to be like, oh shit, and everyone tries to kind of like recalibrate on this. That's what I see personally. But I will, like I will say this before I end this, is gamers need to do better. You know what I mean? I want to see more on Twitter and social media. I want to see people play games and completely omit the platform that they're playing it on. Talk about how fun the game is. Talk about that. That's what I want to see. I want to see shit like that. I'm so tired of looking at people justifying their fucking specs. That's the shit that I am super sick of. I'm done with that shit. I'm tired of looking at this shit on my fucking feed. I'm gonna start blocking. I'm gonna start muting the shit. I mean, I can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Like, what's his name? You know, I follow this dude. But he's I don't know what he is, to be honest with you. I know he caps for PC a lot. I showed a video of me playing Horizon, right? And me playing Horizon has nothing to do with the PlayStation 5. It has all to do with the type of game it is. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. I posted a video of an ocean, of her swimming in the ocean or whatever the case is. One of the other videos that I had, and I was like, this is pretty cool, whatever. Here he goes talking about something. Oh my gosh, this is going to look so good on the PC. But you told me that you don't like this game and that you found it boring. So because it's on the PlayStation and the specs are lower than what would be on the PC of higher value, right? You didn't want to play the game until it got on PC. That's the type of weird shit that I get. Now, one can argue, oh, they're just waiting for it to, go onto their preferred platform or a platform that can give them the best gameplay or the best place to play, rather. All right, I'll call your stupid bluff on that, right? How you like the game though? I like, again, you only pick games if you're a gamer, if the game is fun. You know what I mean? I know somebody as well, they particularly like fighting games. That's what they like. And it don't matter how good the fighting game look or how bad, they're so much of a fucking fighting game fan. They post videos about gameplay, about how good the game is, what's the mechanics. That's what they post. That's what they post. They post shit like that. And that's a true fan. That's a gamer that puts hours upon hours upon hours and hours on that game. That's a gamer. People that play mad hours on Forza or Gran Turismo, that's their predominant game. That's a gamer. People that play Breath of the Wild over and over and over again and see what kind of things that they can get into, that's a gamer. People that play the Souls games, the quiet Souls game player, because there's new age Souls players that basically they're late to the party, and then they start looking up how the game works, and then now they think that they're Souls connoisseurs. So not those. The people that was in 2009 and played Demon Souls and stuck with it the whole fucking time. Those gamers, they're the quiet ones. They don't really pop shit online and talk about get good. They are the real gamers or the real Souls community. Those people that just plays that all day, all night, they are gamers. That's gamers. Whatever the shit that this is, that people be doing, where you only posting, like you so quick. And then another thing too that's really shitty, people be literally trying to find reasons on platinum the game and don't even look at the storyline or cutscenes or anything. You just reading the fucking checklist and trying to and just collecting the platinum. And I told it to somebody. I said, just because you got a fucking platinum means nothing to me. It means absolutely nothing. The reason why it means nothing to me is because you can play a game. People were platinuming Barbie games. You know what I mean? Just to get their rank up. That don't mean shit to me. Tell me more about the story and more about the gameplay mechanics. I don't want to see a checklist, because that's what platinum games. That's what platinuming games mean to me. You follow a fucking checklist. The games that I have platinum, I platinum happen chance. I don't platinum games where they make me do a whole checklist of shit. That's non-negotiable to me. I will not go back to platinum a game if you're making me collect shit that will normally not be able to be found. It's so obscured that you won't be able to find it. I don't platinum games like that. I platinum games if I can do it on my own. That's the games that I platinum. People that play Horizon for fucking 4 years. The gamers, that's me, by the way. Gamer. You know what I mean? You will see me play Gran Turismo, Gravity Rush, Horizon, right? And you don't really see me talk about, oh my God, PlayStation is the best place to play. That ain't my mantra at all. If this game is good, good. That's what I'm playing. You guys need to play this game. I don't care how you play it. You gotta save up for a PlayStation 5 or wait for PC for that shit to be released. But this game is good. Like when not Gravity Rush, Returnal came out. I platinum Returnal, and I platinumed it on my own, and I didn't need the fucking people. I just literally just kept playing it until I beat it. I don't need, I wasn't following the fucking checklist, and nor was I on a time crunch to platinum it. Although I did platinum before the great update, right? So Okay, cool. You know what I mean? But yeah, going back to that, man, people sitting there platinum in games, that don't mean shit to me, man. Just because you platinum games, that means nothing. That means nothing at all. Start posting your gameplay footage, and I want to see you play that game longer than a week. And then lastly, why are people so much in a rush to finish a game and go on to the next game? Like you guys can't even digest the game that you just consumed. You're so fucking hard on. I need the next game. I need the next game. Sony, please. I need a showcase, please. I need a show. Bitch, like play the game that you have. How about that? When they make a game, when they do a showcase, that's when they do a showcase. That's what that is. That's the net of it. Why don't you do that? Gosh, man, that shit is annoying, man. I swear to you, PlayStation fans are irritating as fuck to me, man. All of them. Like the new age ones. You know what I mean? You can't go a day without bashing another fucking platform. Or you can't go a day without like talking about how PlayStation is the best place to play. Like we fucking get it. You got the fucking Metacritic score. You got the graphics because no one's really going ham on the graphics like that with the little hardware that they have. Okay, you got that shit. Be content with that. Why do you need validation from other people to say that your platform is the best place to play? Fucking, if it is, shut the fuck up and play on it. Why do you care about what other people think? Like, I don't understand. Like, society weird, yo. Sorry, like.
They're not gaming, bro. These people aren't actively participating in gaming. They found a niche in life. They found a niche in life where they feel like they could be popular on the internet and possibly get some clout, some likes, and some new fans. So they make that their whole profile, their whole
Identity.
being, their whole existence.
It's crazy, bro. And you're so right, man. It's like I'm starting to look at people and it's weird. Like, okay, so right, King Thrash is the man, right? Thrash Gaming, right? Man, he's the man. He be trying to spit some facts, and he likes PlayStation because of what they offer, not because it's PlayStation. And he says this all the time, right? That's nothing. That's not new. That ain't new. That ain't new, right? What is like, and that's the thing. People get him confused as being the actual fanboy and shit like that. I mean, yeah, he pokes fun and shit like that, but this nigga got a life. You know what I mean? He a truck driver. To my understanding, he's a truck driver, and he'll post things because he likes talking about games. That's where it ends. He likes talking about games. You know what I mean? He's not living, breathing, and eating this shit. You know, I mean, eating PlayStation. You know, he's talking about games, and people need to understand. You know, be a fucking fan of a game type. Be a fan of that. You know what I mean? And be a fan that can take criticism. I hate to break it to Nintendo fanboys, but Breath of the Wild isn't as good as you think it is just because it got a Metacritic of what it is. If you want to follow the sheep herd or the herd, you know, the sheep herd, and sit there and be like, oh my God, Breath of the Wild is the best game ever, when like, okay, all they really did was make an easy game for you to follow and you can kind of explore the environment on your own. And that was the end of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really see no crazy combat shit unless you're trying to bork the game. And like there's no challenge in the fucking game, you know, in terms of like actual combat. You know, but you want to shit on other games talking about combat and shit like that when Breath of the Wild barely has fucking combat. You know what I mean? Oh, I can beat the shit out of a fucking snail. Like the snail's not even going to attack you. Like you beating the shit out of something that was defenseless. You know what I mean? With the amount of power that you have. It's not a complicated game in terms of the combat. You know, I played Breath of the Wild. I've spoken to the fans, some of the most hardcore of the hardcore fans. Sorry to fucking break it to you, buddy. But yeah, it ain't the best game of all time. I don't think you can really have a best. Actually, there is one game that's the best game of all time, and that would be Shadow of the Colossus. Not because it's Sony, but like I've never seen anything like that in my fucking life. That's one best game of all time. Mario 64 is another best game of all time. Never seen nothing like that in my life. Tomb Raider is one of the other big greats. Gran Turismo is another one of the big greats because nobody did that shit prior to them. You know what I'm saying? And they keep up with that fucking franchise in that fucking in that genre. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, it's not a fucking Souls game. I'm sorry, it's not. Just I'm sorry. You gotta be critically acclaimed for that shit. Which means that you have to have a certain accessibility, easy to get into, hard to master type shit. And you know what I mean? There's too many issues with the Souls games anyway. One being visual presentation. You know what I'm saying? And then people have to overlook a lot of shit to call that game the best game of all time. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shit that they overlook. If your game at that time of release isn't smashing everything, or I shouldn't say everything, isn't smashing most things, then you don't have your best game of all time. I'm sorry. Mario 64 was genre defining. So was Ocarina of Time, genre defining. Tomb Raider, genre defining. What do you call it? Sorry, it's not Crash Bandicoot. It's not Uncharted, and it definitely isn't The Last of Us because we already had a Tomb Raider type game. We already had a Resident Evil type game. We already had a Silent Hill type game. It just did its storyline better. And I'm sorry, when I play my fucking games, I want to play games, not watch movies. I get it. It was well acted, great, but it's not gameplay. You can't say it's the best game of all time, which games are interactive. And you calling it the best game of all time because of a cutscene. I'm not doing that. I don't give a fuck what it is. I am not a sheep and go online and look for Metacritic. That's not what I do. That ain't what I do. And I'm so sick of it. Motherfuckers don't have no brains anymore. No brains. You just listen to whatever. It's like that fucking red boot situation, right? Everybody shitted on famous people from wearing those red ass fucking Astro Boy boots, right? Shitted on them. As soon as they put it out in public, it's sold out in moments. For what? This is the type of generation that we deal with now. People that fucking chase clout and want to feel important. You know what I mean? Fuck out of here. I'm sorry, but lastly, I keep saying lastly, but this is really it, right? In terms of the fucking PC people, I told you, PlayStation and PC fake ass master race people, they're the people that get on my fucking nerves. Those people right there, right? If you had to buy a fucking $1,700 fucking graphics card and your whole rig costs $3,000 just to prove that you better than somebody else, if you're looking for fucking material things to prove that you're better and play the same fucking games, I'm sorry, but if you're not getting paid to play games, you don't belong in the 120 frames per second fucking field. 60 frames is quite enough for most games. And if you're playing Call of Duty as a competitive fucking game or on console, you're not a gamer. You don't need 120 fucking frames a second. You got sucked up into the buzzwords. And that's basically what it is. If you have to buy $3,000 to run around and talk about how much money you made and that I'm better than you because I make more money, use a fuck nigga. I'm into the show that way. Y'all, I appreciate you guys coming to the show. Really appreciate it. 20, I appreciate you dropping by. It was always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. I'm sorry I had to go ham at the end like this, but that shit bothered the fuck out of me. I can't deal. That shit's super, super fucking annoying. So, I'm sorry. I was like, bro, like, I hate the internet, yo. I mean, do you? Like, I get it. If that's what makes you feel better, right? If that's what makes you feel better, that you make more than somebody else online, and that you you buy a $4,000 computer and you flaunt that shit but barely play games, that's great. Do you? I get it. I don't know what's happening to you in your home that you're feeling neglected and then you have to go online to get validation. I don't know what's going on with that, but I wish you the best. I hope that you have somebody that actually like you for who you are. I hope you do. I hope you have somebody that likes you for who you are. instead of going online and trying to validate your presence for money. Peace out, guys.